Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's another week where we have to discuss about Man United. The last game we had was not a very good game. We lost against Brentford and it was something we were expecting that we would win. Now we are playing against Sunderland. It's a team that you'd expect in normal circumstances Man United not to be worried about, but they are currently I think 5th and we are 14th. So it's a game that shows that according to the table they are the better team. They have had the better starts and they will cause us a lot of trouble problems like most other teams have done this season. It's rare that we have been winning a comfortable game. Good thing is we are not going for the back-to-back right now. It seems to be losing one game and winning one. So if you look at that trend, then this is the game that we are going to get a result against. Ruben Amorim, I think, ha- hasn't got 2 games without getting a result. In terms of the news, the team news and information about today, Casemiro and Ahmad will be back. Casemiro had a 1 match suspension when he was given a red card last time, but he's back. Ahmad had a bereavement in the family, but has been training. He's back in training, so we missed him. Ruben said we missed the 2 players last time, and you could tell that even Dalot had a very poor game. It was one of the poorest games. He has so many of them, so it's just the default is the poor game, and you are more shocked when he has a good game. So Ahmad should come back straight into the team. Casemiro should also come back because the midfield was not good enough against Brentford. Unfortunately, Mazraoui continues being injured. He won't be back until after the international break, so that is a cause for concern because Mazraoui is very good technically and he helps us in most of our games. He is also considered to be the better right wing back. Ruben Amorim prefers him as the right wing back, but we have something from Ahmad which is in form of attack. We should be having most of the possession in this game, so we can have Ahmad doing most of the attacking rather than defending, and we can be able to manage in this game. Lisandro Martinez is still out. He's been doing some personal training. He's been on the grass, but it seems that it's taking too long for him to come back. So it's not something that we can put a certain date on it when he'll be back, but he continues to progress. Ruben Amorim was also asked about the system in the press conference. Let me confirm what he said. When he was asked about the system, he said, "When I look at the matches that we have lost, I don't think we lost because of the system. That's my opinion." So it still insists the system is not an issue, and you can agree with him on to an extent because he said if you look at that Arsenal game, did we really lose because of the system? If you look at the game against Arsenal, we lost because of binding mistake, and we had we were there were also some other we dominated the game. We had the better possession. We had most of the chances, but for some reason we couldn't score. Our attack was toothless in that game and couldn't score a single game. You look at the game against Fulham, Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty. Because he's caused that penalty and we probably win that game. You look at the game against Brentford. While the system was not an issue, the high line was because Maguire can't play a high line, and as the centre back, he was not able to track the run of Thiago. He put an offside trap that didn't work. He was too late in putting it, and Thiago was through to goal. The second goal was about tracking the runners because the Brentford players were not tracked well enough by our players. Dalot abandoned his post. Delete was not on the right side of the player, so he put him inside. Shaw did not put in a tackle. If he puts in a tackle, he's the favorite to get the ball before Thiago scores the rebound from the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper should have done better with the ball. So considering all those situations, you think the system might not necessarily be the issue. This is the same system that Oliver Glasner plays with. Okay, his is much more defensive than attacking, but he's been able to go 18 games unbeaten in all competitions. So I think it's just a pylon. The case of the system is a pylon. In my opinion, what is the problem is the players being played in the wrong positions. So like Bruno is not an 8, and each time he's played an 8, he sometimes wanders, he drifts off, and you find that Ugarte has having a lot of ground to cover. He kept moving from side to side, side to side, and he can't cover that whole ground on his own. And the Brentford players realized and they used that to their advantage. That's why they dominated the game too much. So Ruben Amorim, when he was asked about the system, he said it's not the system. There's no problem with the system in his opinion. And he could be right because if he looks at the way they are lost, some of those goals that we are conceding are individual mistakes. Not there are some of them are just howlers, because you look at that goal against for Brentford, it just went through Baindi. It went through the center. For somebody to hit a long shot and it to go to the center of the goal, it's not even high to the goal, it's just the center of the goal. It's a complete goalkeeping error, because the positioning was wrong and he should have been able to just standing there. That ball doesn't go in. So that is also an issue. So he said the system is not an issue. When he was asked about what the fans can expect, because they need something positive, he said it's not time to say, it's time to show. So the players need to show. We can't always be expecting that it's all talk, but when it comes to show it on the pitch, they are not showing it enough. So Ruben Amorim thinks if the system can work for one game and then not work for another game, then it's not an issue of a system. If it's an issue of a system, it shouldn't work in all games. But we have had some games where it's working and some games where it's not working. So it's all a case of the personnel carrying out the instructions. They was asked, why aren't they not taking in the instructions well enough? He said no, it's something that they still continuously need to work on, because as you can see, Cunha, Mbeumo and Sesko started their first game together since they were signed against Brentford. So that's the first game they have started together. They still need time to gel. They still need. There are going to be some of those cases where we have players like Maguire, like Shaw, like Dalot, who are underperforming. Bruno is also underperforming. You look at the penalty misses. So some of the things that the players are doing are also a concern. In as much as we are blaming the coach, and I think he's to blame because of some of the lineups that he's come up with. Some of those lineups have not given us a good chance to go on to win a game. For instance, I don't want to see Maguire in a center back position, because he just doesn't have pace, and because we are playing a high line, it's just suicide playing Maguire there, because he won't be able to track the runners. And once a striker is able to evade the offside trap, Maguire is never getting to him. So that is one of those are the talking points for today. We look at Sunderland, the last 10 Premier League games that we have played Sunderland. The last time Sunderland were in the Premier League was in 2017, so a lot has changed since then. You look at 8 years back, but before we had a good record against them, especially at Old Trafford. In the last 10 Premier League games, Sunderland have only won two. One of them was away in their stadium. The other one was at Old Trafford. The only game they won at Trafford was when Ryan Giggs was a caretaker manager, just after the disaster of a season from David Moyes. The last four games, Ryan Giggs took over, and one of those games that he lost was the game against Sunderland. In the EFL Cup, they also won a game. I think it was in 2015 when they won an EFL Cup through penalties at Old Trafford. But other than that, mostly Man United tends to do well in this game, in this fixture. But that is based on other managers' records. We look at the management that we currently have, you can't really be sure about this game, and it's a pity that we can't be that sure about a game against Sunderland, a newly promoted team. Man United, the team that has been in the Premier League, should be able to be confident about winning this game. It's a good thing that the last two games we won at Old Trafford, the game against Burnley, the game against Chelsea, so we have started doing better in the performances at Old Trafford. So I think this third game against Sunderland could also be a win. So hopefully the players, if they turn up, I think they wrap this up. If Sunderland are in a good position, they are in 11th. The good thing about them is that they are not scoring as many goals as they are probably scoring one or two goals. I think in the last four fixtures they have scored a single goal in each game. There's only one game that they scored two goals. So their strength has been in defense. They have been very good defensively, especially with a player like Nodu Mukiele. They got that player from PSG. They have signed very many new signings, but the signings appear to have just the right experience to keep them up. You look at the player like Granit Xhaka, he's played at Arsenal, he's played at Bayer Leverkusen, he handled the pressure at big clubs, home and away. So you have a player like that will give them leadership. You look at a player like Nodi Mukiele has been very good defensively. He defends everything with his life. Before this game, there was concerns that he will be a doubt for the game, but the Sunderland manager confirmed that he will be available. He rubbished doubts about Mukiele being available, so that's going to be an advantage for Sunderland. They are very good defensively, and the problem will be breaking them. And as you can see, Man United have had a very big problem breaking defenses. So we hope that if they can break that Sunderland defense and score a goal or two, I think they have something out of this game. Once again, when it comes to Man United games, the first goal determines a lot. when we go behind, we are rarely able to get back to a winning position. But if we score fast, the team gets confidence, and most games when we score fast, we have a tendency to win. So it's going to be about the first goal. If you can't score the first goal, then there's a chance we win that game. In terms of the lineup, I think it's time that Lammens starts. Look at the game against Brentford. I had enough of Baindi. Baindi was he makes just too many mistakes. He made mistakes in two of the goals that I think two, even three of the goals that they scored. Because in their first goal, he just made the goal as big as possible by not coming out. The second goal, he bulbed it straight to the striker who had a tap in. The third goal just went through the center. So it was like three mistakes in one game. So I think it's time. Whether Lamens will be good or not, it's good to try him because you never really know until he's tried. And this is the kind of perfect game to try him. It's at Old Trafford. It's against Sunderland, and we have the international break just coming right after, where the effects of the game shall be dealt with. So I think we should not be insisting with Bainde because he has failed to show that he is good enough to take over that position. So Lamens for me will start in the centre back positions. I'll have the middle centre back as Delete. I'll have the left centre back as Luke Shaw and the right centre back as Yoro. I think it's time we tried something different. This was the centre back trio that started the first four games, and in as much as they lost two of them, they were better in some of those games. I don't think Maguire did himself well in that last game. I would start Maguire, but I don't think he plays well as the left centre back, and I wanted Euro to be the right centre back. I think Heaven is not ready to be as the left centre back. If we had Martinez, I would start Martinez instead of Shaw. But Shaw, I'm just going to start him because I think the options that are at left centre back are not good enough. Not that he's any better, because he's made very costly mistakes in the first game, again in this game against City, and also in the game against Brentford. But he'll continue there for a lack of a better option. Ahmad should come straight back in as the right wing back. Dogu will continue as the left wing back. I don't want to see Dalot in this team because it seems he never learns. So the type of mistakes he made in the game that against Brentford was so costly, and we can't be giving players the game time. Then there needs to be a punishment, or a sort of consequence for not performing well. You can't be just performing poorly and then in the next game you go straight back in. So Ahmad should start. In the midfield, Casemiro is back. Casemiro is one of our better midfielders, especially in passing the ball forward. He might not have the legs, but you can tell he does better job than the other defensive midfielders. Bruno, it seems, will have to get used to the fact that Amorim will still see him as an 8, and there's no chance that he doesn't play me in this game, and I don't think he'll play me in his 10, so he'll continue as the 8, so that will be the midfield pairing. The 10s will have Cunha and Belmo. Those are almost guaranteed positions for them now. I think we need to play more with Cunha. He's yet to score a goal or an assist, and this is his seventh game going against Sunderland. So it could do a lot of confidence for him if he can score in that game. He's already gotten a call up for Brazil, so that's also something that should fill him with confidence. Casemiro and Cunha will be off to Brazil during the international break. So if he can go to the international break with a goal, maybe an assist, that will give him the confidence when he comes back. Straight after the international break, we play at Liverpool, and we need them at the best of confidence. Sesko should continue as a striker. He had the goal in the last game, and after getting a goal, you get confident. And I need to see him play in this game. He played very good centre forward play, and he can also score in this game, which will be an advantage if he can score. He needs to start getting a run of games where he scores or an assist, or he continues being a nuisance, because we need it. So in my opinion, if we start that lineup, we have a chance against Sunderland, because some of the mistakes against Brentford would be addressed. That is the goalkeeping issue. We look at Dalot, who was terrible. We look at Maguire, who can't hold a high line. So he has been given a few games to take over, but he doesn't seem to be in a position to. You look at the game against City, was also skinned by Haaland, and it just can't. It's just a sorry sight to see him trying to play a high line. I could also have had a replacement for Shaw, but I don't yet think that Heaven is ready for starts. So probably Shaw can have 60 minutes, and then Heaven can have the rest of the 30 minutes. So with that lineup, I think we have fixed most of the problems that were evident against Brentford, and we should be able to win the game. So hopefully that is something that we can see tomorrow. Unfortunately, Ruben Amorim has had some lineups that have brought a lot of concern to the fans. Have been concerned with the lineups that he gives, churning out. The lineup before the Brentford game, we was most fans were talking about how it's concerned to have Maguire in a high line, and it was exposed just almost immediately. I think 7 minutes into the game, and you could tell it was a mistake. We don't have to be making work hard for ourselves. Anytime there's a mistake from the coaching tactical setup or from the players who are not comfortable in the positions they have been put in, it costs us and makes the game difficult. So hopefully we can have a good game that's not difficult, get the first goal, try to get the second, and defend the game until the end. So we don't care what type of win we get, but we really need a win in this game because it can change a lot for us, considering some of the teams around us and at the top are playing against each other. We look at Chelsea are playing Liverpool, so if we can win our game, we can be 5 to 6 points to the lead, and it's something that gives confidence to the players going into the international break. So let's see what Ruben Amorim comes up with, and which team will turn up tomorrow. Hopefully, is the team that wins the game. See you in the next one.